One. All right. So, hey, what is up, Soul Tribe? And we got spiritual goddesses. Hopefully, we're dual streaming at the same time. That would be like super exciting. So, I think this was the first time that you're on Be Live, right, Kara?
It is. This is awesome. And it looks like it's streaming in the community. I'm going to close out that window just in case so there's no like feedback. Sometimes that happens, right? The video plays in the back and it's like an echo, but I think it is streaming. Yeah.
I know. And just to let you know, there's different links. So, but I'll teach you that on the flip side. So we're super excited that you guys are spending time with us, particularly on a busy weekend where a lot of people celebrate Memorial Day, especially in the States. I don't know if it's a nationwide thing. I always have to do my research to be like, is this just an American holiday? Cause I sometimes get, confused, and then Mother's Day in England is different than Mother's Day here. So I actually, in my later years, have been taking time to realize what different holidays per what nations mean. And it's pretty neat because it really does. It means something different for everybody. So tonight, guys, I want to introduce you to Kara Melendy, who is she's not only one of the people that helps me out the most in my business with astrology and truly making sure everything's aligned. I mean, last time she helped me, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is what I'm doing. She's like, no, Maureen. I'm like, no, I'm doing it like this. And she's like, okay. And then she's like, give me some feedback. And then sure enough, some things energetically shifted. And I was like, yeah, yep, your plan was right. And I readjusted, because you're always pivoting and adjusting as an entrepreneur. I was like, man, this is so cool. And then the serious thing that I always ask Kara for is guidance and advice of just a quick 1 second, is the energy that I'm feeling aligned to the cosmos? Because sometimes, I can even feel and maybe you can even share real quick, Kara, we trust ourselves and, my intuition's on point, my energy's on fleek, but then there's sometimes where it's just wow, am I really is it really real? And you kind of need an angel guidance from one of your sisters, or I always text Kara and I'm like, is this what's really going on? She's like, oh yeah, girlfriend, and then she tells me about these few things astrology wise.
Yeah, your intuition is really right. It's so cool. When you check in, I'm like, yeah, you're intuitively picking up on what's going on in the cosmos. But it can be helpful to have that other guidance, right? Just to know what's going on astrologically and tapping into that energy, working with it. But it's really cool because if we are intuitive, we can pick up on that anyway, right? We can naturally tap into that energy. But it's it's such a powerful guide. And then we all respond differently as well, which I think is so important to remember. We can look at overall trends, but what's going on in your unique birth chart, right? How is this new moon influencing what's going on for you? And just in our life, day to day, right? Are we going through a challenging time? That's going to impact too. So it really is a way to work with the energy rather than set thing that's the same for everyone. Anything, we have to be flexible with it, right? We got to be flexible with the energy. Yeah.
So that is why I love it. I'm not sure if it's stage right or stage left, so I'll do both ways because I'm not sure. I think it's opposite when you're on video because, right, because you're on stage and they're not on stage. So what's up, Beth? What? We love you. Beth is from Arizona. We got another viewer, so we'd love to hear from you guys, and we're open to receive any questions. So yeah, I just want to warmly invite you guys to meet Kara, who is multifaceted and multi-passionate entrepreneur. Not only does she but she's has her zone of genius in astrology, but she's also a life coach. She has a goddess temple. She has an amazing tribe and community of spiritual goddesses. And the tagline is healing the world together. I mean, does it get better than that? I mean, I don't think so. I mean, at least in my opinion. So, on the real, Kara and actually Kara with a C are the two other tribes that I hang in the most when I'm not in Soul Tribe. Because I love the vibration, I love the community and the connection, because we're really trying to change the paradigm of what women leadership looks like and just loving on each other. And that's how we really met. And I want to give a shout out to Lisa real quick before we truly get started. because if it wasn't for Lisa saying, hey, you need to check this woman out, and like we message each other, and like there's just certain souls, and like if you guys get anything from this broadcast, like find your spiritual running buddies. Find your sisters that are in the same place that you are in business wise, and just rock a good freaking system and just be in integrity, you know, totally authentic. And one of the coolest things that we did for each other before we really even knew each other, but we were launching two separate, but you could call us quote unquote competitors, remember? Like we were literally in the same, like not the same field, but we were similar titles, but we have different, I have a different vibe. You have a different vibe. Like I say, you're like really grounded from here down, and then I'm here. So you balance me out. And I believe it was you that said the private message and was like, what intentions do you have for your next launch? And I was like, that is an amazing, like it was just the coolest thing that I was asked in a very long time. And I was like my heart just opened up, and I was like, nobody's asked me that. Like, how cool is that? It wasn't like, let me sell you my program or let me do this or join my group or nothing. It was so genuine. And I shared my intentions, and then I put you into my intention ritual, and we had this little triangle, and we all hit our intentions.
Yeah.
Like, and then it like became our thing now. Like, so anytime we do like a new project, it's like, oh, like what are we going to put into like our own little like new moon and manifesting ritual so we can support each other, because at the end of the day, we don't compete with each other, and it's all about the community. So I'm going to let Kara introduce herself. She has also other super gifts, like she does meditations in her group. She does EFT tapping, which any of you guys don't know about is the bomb diggity. And ironic, you do it a little bit differently than the way that I was taught, which is very cool too, because again, it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you do it the way that's aligned to you. So Kara, I'll let you have the show for a hot second. I'll put you on the hot seat and give you all those tough questions.
No,
and anybody like joining, we definitely want to know three of you guys live. If you're shy, that's okay, but we can see all the comments. We're good to go. Just, meet new friends. This is how, I meet a lot of my friends is by joining a live stream with another person and just interacting.
Yeah, definitely say hi, ask questions. It's very interactive. Want to get to know you. Hi, Kimberly. How are you from Indiana? That is awesome. I don't know if the comments stay posted, but I see them initially, which is really cool.
Well, here we go. This is how you can do on
them. Oh, okay. That's neat if they pop up. Yeah, so welcome. Thank you for being here. Let me know. Are you guys astrology fans? Do you explore EFT? Yeah, thank you for that wonderful introduction, Maureen. So heartfelt. And it's true in the community, like healing the world together. That's my purpose, is that we empower one another and we come together to support one another and all rise together, because it's time we get out of that competition and, making those salesy pitches, right, to people and coming from that place of, oh, I just need you to buy my services or I need to make money, instead of a heart of service of, just really leading from a place of love, right? Not our ego, but very heartfelt into, how can I serve other people? How can I help people? And how can we all share our gifts? And in the community, that's what I love to do, is create that space where we can all share our gifts and not compete with one another, right? Because we all have something different to offer. We all come at it a different way. And so, yeah, absolutely. I see you posted a question there for people. Are you into astrology? Are you curious about it? Yes, because we just had our new
Isn't it neat?
Our new moon in Gemini.
Which really jacked up a lot of people, didn't it? Because Gemini, and I saw your live stream that you had talking about the Gemini, and I was like, that's not me. That's not me, because I'm very different. But then you had mentioned that, because I had the Pisces moon and the water sign in me, and then my Sag is rising, and then the way my chart flows, I'm not your typical Gemini, just in general. Like I meet the characteristics, and the way that I call astrology, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, imagine like we have billions of people in the world, and they're just characterizing us and putting us in like a quote unquote box for this month. So you're going to have these general characteristics, and that's why I encourage anybody, especially if you're in business or you're working on your soul, do a fun little, they're not $150 max. Just do a fun, have a birthday present or a self-care present to yourself. and get your own like general reading that's not reading it from the internet from somebody that actually knows.
But it's going to be very like computer based and digital, right? Like it's not a good idea. And people who have done that and then have gotten a reading, they're like, oh, this makes so much more sense. Like I read this online and it didn't really resonate because there's so many components. Like we often know our sun sign, but that's it. And like you said, there's a moon sign, there's a rising sign, you have planets in each of the houses. So you need to look at that together to see what are your natural gifts, your talents, your life purpose, things that you're here to let go of. Kimberly's saying, I know I'm a Libra, but that's about it. Yeah, so the sun sign. So your sun would be in the sign of Libra, according to Western astrology. Libra is an air sign, all about relationships, able to see two sides to everything, which is really cool. Some of my best friends have been Libras. I love your puppy. It's so sweet. So much love. So we often know our sun sign, but there's so much more to the equation for sure. And like all air signs, so Libra being an air sign, there's this love of knowledge and communication as well. And like sharing ideas with the world, expressing your opinion and being so open to receiving and hearing from others. Oh, your puppy is so sweet.
He just loves your voice. Certain people he just like is like, I need to be on, I need to say hi. And
I'm a huge animal lover, so I love that for babies.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So awesome. We got some great questions. So Beth, like I really encourage you to join Kara's group because she, like, one of her primary focuses is like, I do core energy healing, but yours is really doing the energy healing through emotional freedom tapping.
Yep.
I mean, you definitely have more experience. I mean, I do it as well, but you have more experience, and like you have what kind of cool things do you have in your group? Just let them know a little bit about you and how you do your group.
Absolutely. Yeah. Welcome, Beth. And I love that you're looking into doing that for your clients because it's so powerful in shifting your vibration and getting to those core beliefs and changing them quickly. And I actually have a free challenge coming up called the EFT Client Attraction Challenge. So if you want to explore that a little bit more, jump on over and get in on that. It's starting tomorrow. So we're starting really soon, but each day we're going to be doing clearings. So I would love for you to join because it's one of my go-to tools. It shifts at a deep level. And I know, like my background is in counseling. I started out as a psychotherapist. So I did a lot of talk therapy. And I noticed that people would really get stuck at a certain point, and it would almost be like we're talking in circles and we're not getting anywhere. And that's what drew me into doing more of this energy work because I saw there was a block. There's only so much you could do through talk therapy, and then you had to tap into the energy component. So outside of my like mainstream training, I started getting into these energy modalities, and EFT is one that resonated from the start. Like, okay, this is perfect. This is a great way to like tap into the wisdom of your body, to get to those subconscious beliefs so you're not working on the surface, and to shift things quickly. So that was has been my go-to tool to create like massive shifts and raise your vibe. Yeah.
Do you mind sharing like a little bit of what your version of EFT, like what it means to you? I mean, it's a pretty, like, it's emotional freedom technique. I mean, my version is it uses the meridians just like you would do acupuncture, but it's like self-acupuncture for yourself. And it just really, as you guys see me like do energy activations, it does the same thing, except, you're physically injured, like you're in your mind, body, and spirit, but you become whole with it again.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just so amazing. I mean, even that day that I had a migraine, I was like, damn it, I don't want to tap. And I did your Friday. Don't you usually do a Friday? But was it Friday or Sunday? I think it was a Sunday. I forget which day it was.
Yeah, there's something each day.
And I tapped on it, and yeah, I definitely did feel like I was able to sleep. Because anybody that's ever had a migraine, it's not one of those pretty days because it pretty much takes you down. And I was like, all right, well, I'll try it. And sure enough, I went from like a 9 being like so unbearable to like about a 6.5 where I could actually get comfortable enough to cuddle up and go to bed. So
it works really well for pain too, Maureen, as you would know, because what it does with pain, I find it helps separate from the story that we attach to it. And when we can do that, then we can simply just feel it, right? So whether it's in that emotion or in the physical sensation without needing to attach a story about what it represents, which our mind naturally wants to do, right? Our mind naturally goes to that, is I have to create a story around how I'm feeling. So if I'm anxious, there must be a reason why. So I'm going to look for all these reasons. And as somebody, for myself, suffered from anxiety, I know that all too well. So we try to look for stories. Or the same with pain. Like, why am I feeling this? What could it represent? And our mind can get carried away with the stories. And when we go to EFT, it's like, let's just sink into the feeling. Let's shift the energy. Let's learn to be with what is. So even though you're shifting, it's like this acceptance of I'm okay with where I am and what's happening in this moment. Hi, Lisa. I noticed some of the comments come up. Two of my favorite coaches, my yin and my yang. Oh, Lisa, you're amazing. Thank you for being here.
We gave you a shout out, Lisa, to say that none of this would have happened if it wasn't for Lisa, honestly, because we roll, like, there's many different spiritual circles, and Kara's been trained by different coaches and has different spiritual friends than I have. We know there's a crossover to some degree, but for the most part, we've been like here, and then we found each other and we're like, hey girl, where you been?
Well, it compliments, right?
Find your soul. It was like, hey, and it was like, hey girl, and it was like, let's talk, and it was like, oh, collaboration. But and even when you collaborate with people, like, you got to see if the energy and the vibration is right. So we've had this just amazing, beautiful relationship develop and blossom over just a span of a few months. And it's just been, for me, it's been miraculous to have you a part of my world. It's been miraculous to be a part of your goddess tribe. Like I said, it's the place where I hang out, where I'm not in Soul Tribe, because I feel like it's like, I can be a client, like, I can be a person, when I'm in, like, how you are when you lead your tribe, like, you're mama bear, like, you're always in a different mentality. And like, so it's nice to just take a deep breath in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to hang out with my goddesses, so yeah, really cool.
It's a different energy when you have to step up and like lead, right? And then like a participant. Yeah. And honestly, for me, I'm almost more comfortable in that role. And it's like learning to be a student, right? And learning to be the client and being comfortable with that. Really, it's about being comfortable with receiving help, which that was like a realization this year, was something that I'm not good at. It's easier for me to want to give than to receive, but I know in order to be in flow and to really receive abundance in our life, it's about learning to receive day-to-day help as well, day-to-day compliments, and being comfortable in that flow of give and take. Like, it's so that was really eye-opening to see, wow, I'm actually not that comfortable when I'm on the other side of it. I'm more comfortable when I feel that sense of control in some way, right? Like, it's almost a control when you're in that role. Yeah.
I mean, how many of you guys can really like relate to that? How much do you really control your life? I mean, I really wanted to know more about like Kara's back history, but like, we start riffing on these Sunday soul chats and they get a mind of their own. Oh, did she, Lisa? Oh, I did hear about it. Oh, cool. I can't wait to hear about it, because Lisa's been a little MIA, but we have our strategy session. I can't wait to have my reading with you too. But most of the time, I'm using Kara for my business. Like, I couldn't even imagine running a launch without Kara, which is kind of funny. We're in pre-launch mode, or whatever you want to call it. And, I'm preparing for my Vipassana. And then the new puppy is, I'm like, I don't even know what a shower is. No, I mean, I do, but it's like, I'm just putting my ball cap on. The puppy is like, I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get ready. He's stealing my mascara. I'm like, okay, screw it. Like, this is how I am as a mom. But like, one of the biggest things I just worked on was control. And I guess it was 3 years ago when I really started like vibing with the law of abundance and attraction. It was like, I have to be open to receive.
Yeah.
Like, it's so huge. And so often we're not. Like, we say we are, but we're really, really, really not. And then, like, you see yourself in scenarios like, yeah, I'm way more comfortable as the coach, as the person that's giving you the guidance. And then to step back in that very vulnerable space and say, can I trust this group? Can I trust this teacher and guidance? Because a lot of times when you're in groups, it's really up to us to make sure that you're protected and safe, which has a huge responsibility.
True.
In a good way.
They get a feel for the vibe, right, of a space.
Yeah.
When you go into a group, I find you get a sense right away, right? Like, what is the energy here? And it's it's so important, right, to be aware of that. And I know, for me, tapping has been key, and like being able to kind of let go of some of those things. I just noticed Kimberly's comment, I'm learning to let go. It is so hard to not be in control. And it is, right? Like, I hear you, because I'm the same. And what I'm coming to realize, though, it's like this false sense that we have control at all, right? It's like we take on these different roles and we think it gives us control. But it's not. There's something going on in the universe that we can't control. We can control our response, right? How we respond to it, how we show up.
And that's it.
Lesson. Yep.
Really, we can only control us, how we respond, how we react, how do we choose, like, the be in that moment, which is like, and that's really advanced, like, spiritual / mindset conditioning, guys. Like, it doesn't happen overnight. Nobody broke us overnight. We're not going to heal overnight. And none of us are broke. And we're just on a journey of different discovery of whatever path that looks like. For me, it happened to have I had a lot of sexual trauma in my life. People are like, oh my God, and they want to hug me and hold me. And I'm like, what happened to you? Because Bobby could have told you were fat in the 3rd grade and you feel the same exact way. And that was one of the most profound, and I think that I've shared this, but like I haven't shared this recently. It was one of the most profound things that happened to me when I was working with Gabrielle Bernstein. And I looked out over this audience of 80 women, and I shared that I was able to forgive my rapist. And the whole audience is like, oh, like it was like huge. And then somebody else shared a story of body image and just, control of whatever that looked like for her. And it was so impactful, and like the tears. And then there was another woman that shared something. It was on an all woman journey. And I said, why do I think I'm special? Like, I thought I was like special because I had trauma and crazy and so astronomical, like literally that, nobody could ever understand me. And I looked at these women, like literally saw them eyeball to eyeball. And I said, we're like, my story is your story is my story. Like we all have something, and just how it depends on how we deal with it. Aaron Sight says something cool to say too. We got all sorts of action going on now, Kara. So Kara, what really truly shifted you into a spiritual path, of getting into astrology and EFT? I mean, because you said you were a trained therapist.
Yeah. That's a good question. I always felt like I was on a spiritual journey, like kind of came in with that strong intention, but it's definitely has shifted over time. Like I was a Christian growing up, like raised Catholic. My parents weren't super religious. What's kind of funny is like I brought them back to church. I always had like this strong, which you never hear in kids. Wow. But I had like this strong pull to be involved with that in some way. And like that was kind of my knowing at the time, right? Like was to explore that through Catholicism. That's what was available to me. But then it slowly branched out in different areas. But I always felt that pull and that connection with God. And I thought it was so silly, even from a young age, that we had all these different churches and divisions, because I thought, hey, there's like one God, right? One universe. Like, so what? We understand it in different ways, but at its core, it's the same. It's like I had that knowing early on, and I remember though, like, maybe people listening in can understand from like the traditional religion, I had a lot of guilt too about exploring things outside of that. Like I loved astrology, and I used to read my horoscopes all the time as a kid. And I actually had guilt over that, because in the Catholic Church, you're not supposed to explore those other things. So it was this guilt over horoscopes and like reading those and thinking that I was bad in some way for wanting to do that. So it took different forms throughout my life, but it was definitely that core pull all along that I felt. I love your kitty.
No, well, she's here, he's there, like this new parenting thing. I'm like, what's going on? Do I have to like do some like special ninja skills here? She wants to say hi.
All in line. Yeah. So it's always like been a pull, but like different directions. And so, yeah, even as a kid, I was like interested in horoscopes, reading horoscopes, but I remember like the guilt over it. Like, am I doing something wrong for this?
Cool.
Eventually, like,
So this is a good question. Because this is a hot topic in my tribe, and I don't know how it feels in your tribe, but I asked this for Lent, and I'm like, do you participate in Lent? Because I had a fake being Catholic, and just to be time oriented, because most of the people know like my funny fake Catholic story. Because I think that you and I, like, once we get on a roll, we could probably jam for at least an hour together. And yeah, I had a fake being Catholic because I was raised Catholic, but my mom, we never got baptized, so we weren't Catholic. And I felt the same thing. We're all one. I don't understand why there's rules. Like, it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
So how did you really turn the guilt into a spiritual practice that you feel in love with today? Because, you know, I've noticed that part of your branding, and it almost seems like you went into a reinvention right before we met. Like, you're just so comfortable being Kara, who she is now.
Thank you. I feel that, like, I've been able to kind of step up and really own that. And it was just this January, like, the Spiritual Goddesses community is new, but in some ways it feels like it's just such a part of me that it is so natural. Like, I've had people say, oh, it just feels like this is your blueprint, this is in your DNA. I'm like, sure, I think it is, and it's always been a part of me, but now I've been able to express that through my business, and it feels amazing to be in alignment with it. And I mean, I continue to seek that. And I'm sure that's going to change throughout my life as I grow. My business is going to be a reflection of that and evolve as well. But it really felt good to step up and own that, and to create a space where, like, I think spirituality can mean so many different things. And in my community, I'm open to that, right? Like, whatever your belief is, or connection with God or the universe or spirit, how you see that is welcomed in this space, because we're all on this journey together. So I love to create that space where it's safe to explore whatever God looks like for you, or what the universe means. And to feel like I'm in alignment with that is huge. Yeah. So
I got the responses back after Lent, or I forget, it was a Catholic spiritual holiday for the most part, even though like there's blendings of all of the holidays and traditions. And I thought it was so funny because a lot of people were falling off not that they've fallen off, but like they had the same thing. Like, you had the guilt and the anguish, and like, you know, I come from, hey, my mom basically is like, she does witchy things, and she's, you know, does herbs, and I've been doing this since I've been little, but then she was Catholic too. And I mean, if you ever see some of the pictures around my house, like, you know, there's Mary, there's freaking Saint Francis, there's everybody in our yard. Like there's Buddha, there's statues, there's Ganesh, like, you name it, they're in our backyard. There's angels, there's fairies. Like, it's just all this culmination of, you know, like I say, I like to pick and choose, and it's not even pick and choose. I just like to see, like, oh, this feels good, I'm going to incorporate it into that. And that's my spirituality, at least. And I think that most of the people that are watching this now will catch the replay can be really in alignment with that. And it's okay. Like, it's safe to like totally like explore and beat to your own drum. And as I like to say, let your spiritual flag fly high. But seriously, we have like, right? You know, it's like, here's my flag, like, you know, basically no F's to give. You know, it's funny because, like, you know, I'm raised Irish, Italian, Catholic, and Northern. And you're on, you know, Canadian, and it's, you know, your dialect and lingo is a little bit different, you know, and I notice sometimes I'm like, you know, I bring it in and I'm like, blah, 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 you know, and like, you know, like I have to be really mindful sometimes of like, yeah, Kara doesn't really talk like that. It's like, I'm like, ass and beast. And it's not that you don't, it's just naturally not your what's the word for it? Like, it's not the way that you communicate.
Yeah.
It's not your natural way. Like, and I love that about you, because, you know, there's so many people that like act like it's like saying, like, let's say profanity is a good way to market themselves. I'm like, it's only great if you actually speak like that naturally. Like, I naturally speak like this. I type like this. I text like this. Like, it's just like, if you ever hear like me and my mom talk, if mom comes in, I'm like, what the fuck, mom? And she's like, what the fuck back, Maureen? Like, that's sort of, like, I grew up like that. I mean, that's my dialogue. So, I mean, it's definitely not.
Well, and I love your point, Maureen, about being in alignment, right, with you. And that's what people resonate with, right? And it's so easy to, because I know I went through this, like, questioning, right? Is there something wrong with me? Are people going to accept me for who I am? And I'm sure there's still people that don't, or judge, because there's always going to be. But I think to be happy with ourselves, we have to feel in alignment, and we have to honor that. And when you try to force something that isn't you, people sense that, right? They pick up on that and they feel like something's off. So you got to be in alignment. And, you know, most importantly, you'll feel like something's off, and you're not going to be happy in the long run if you're not honoring who you are. And I think a lot of like coaching and mentoring these days is going back to that place of helping people tap into the wisdom within them, even when it comes to like business coaching. Instead of saying these are the exact specific steps you need to take, it's more about going in and following your intuition, right? And what like feels right for you, what feels in alignment with you is really the key, and being able to like move forward and create those shifts. It's always goes back to the inner work, doesn't it? Like that, the inner work is where it's at truly in all areas of life. Yeah.
My inner work was trying to get my lighting not happening. I was not paying attention. I was just like, what's going on? And then I have to be mindful that like, hey, I'm outside. I just can't live stream inside. I just can't. It's summertime. So this leads us to a perfect segue, just to be mindful of everybody's time. How did this whole client attraction challenge get started for you? Like, it's a really deeply ingrained in your soul. I'm super, super crazy excited because I don't think that there's any, like, you know, whether you shift your energy, you change your vibration, you learn some new tricks along the way, but like, who doesn't want, like, you know, it doesn't even have to be attract new clients. It could be attract a new opportunity. Like, I found $5 today. You know, and I'm like, yes! Like, I was like, $5. It was on the ground. I was like, yes! I mean, something as silly as that, but I was like doing a happy dance around the neighborhood. I was like, whoo, whoo, whoo. I was like,
those emotions, right? Celebrate, right?
Yeah, like, you know.
Yeah,
so how did that get started for you? Like, I'm really curious to know.
For sure. And I'd love to share the link with your community too. I don't know if there's a way to post it here, because again, it's absolutely
like, I think I have it on the agenda.
And it's
if you hold on. So
I think I sent. Oh, let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's popping up at the bottom.
Oh, but it kind of is cut off, huh? Hold on. Let me see if I can.
Part of it might have got cut off. I don't know if I still have it, but yeah. So basically, it's all about like clearing through those core blocks that can prevent you from attracting clients with ease. But it goes even so much deeper than that. Like, client attraction is one piece to this, but you can really transform your fears in a deep way, because EFT, again, like, it taps into those core beliefs. It shifts your vibration. So it really is about like raising your vibration, transforming those fears, breaking through blocks, and receiving abundance on all levels. So attracting your soulmate clients will be one piece of what can happen when you do this inner work and you do the energy work, and you're not always in your mind trying to figure everything out. Hey, Alicia, thanks for jumping on. She's saying,
hey, Alicia,
a life changer for me. It has been life changing for me on so many levels, in my business, huge, in my personal life with like anxiety, trauma. It breaks through that beautifully. So it's and it's empowering, and I love to share tools that you can take and you can continue to tap. So you can join the challenge, you can learn about these acupressure points, how to use that, and then continue that in your life. So it looks like,
I think I got your right link, sweetheart, but it might be like, I don't know, because I think it's like a little long.
Probably the right. I could have done a bit.ly link, but no, it's likely.
It's okay. So like, just make sure, like, guys, we'll make sure that like at the very beginning of this video, because I'm going to be playing the challenge, and like I said, I'm doing the Soul Aligned Self-Care Basic Challenge. It's starting Tuesday. And I just want to truly help you guys, because we're like, you know, both of like, I think that Kara and I, like, Our mission is just to see where your pain points are and just how can we serve you? How can we be of the greatest and best service to you and your spiritual growth? Like, I mean, at this point, we're so animate that, like I said, like my energy is incredibly high, like, and it's not that yours isn't, Kara. Like, I feel like yours is high, but like really grounded and centered with everything. And yours is like really strong and rooted. And some people really need that high skyrocket. And then some people, it's like, I'm a little bit too much for you. And that's okay. Like, I'm comfortable with that. And that's where it's like, hey, if I'm not for you, pass it over to my homegirl because she's going to be the right fit because she's like, has a gentler, like more really solid grounding that, I mean, I don't provide that very well to my clients because that's not who I am. And there's no, like, I feel really good about it because, like, I know who I am. I know who I attract, right? Like, part of the whole attraction.
We can't be everything to everyone, or else we're not honoring our true gifts. And I love to hear you say, like, grounded, right? Because that's something I've worked on is being grounded. So it's
well, clearly it's worked. I didn't take the grounding boot camp that you're going to offer in the future. It's like, that's why I'm taking up Vipassana. I'm like, I just need 12 days of total silence to myself. It gets too crazy up in the Atheros. So, guys, does anybody have any questions? And we'll definitely post the links to both of those. And you guys know the way that I do challenges. Like, I have literally no F's to give. Like, I do, like, something a little bit different. I don't know, like, this might be new for you, Kara. But I allow people to, like, either join in the tribe. The tribe gets one set of, like, cool things to participate in. And then if you're on my email list, you actually get behind the scenes and other, like, awesome footage, which is the perks of being on the list. I'm not a great email marketer or email person. It's not my jam. It still isn't. I've been in business for 5 going on 6 years. It's not my specialty, guys, so you're not going to be email blasted by me by any means. Like, I'm all like, oh, yeah, I should email my list. It's just, I know that most of you guys like to engage in the tribe, so I'm not going to push, like, you can only join because of this, and that's just how I like to roll with things, and I know how you guys like things, so you're going to be playing whether you want to or not in my tribe, unless it's our money challenge, and that's a whole nother crazy ball game. But yeah, I know for Kara is like, make sure that you join her goddess energy. I call it a temple. Everything's a temple because it's mine. Make sure you join the spiritual goddesses. They're just a really cool community. That's where we're going to be hanging out. So we're going to have like kind of simultaneous challenges, and they're not hard. Right?
No.
Because yours is like EFT based, right?
Yeah, you're
like,
tapping.
Yeah. And mine is going to be like, hey, basically like, I want to take you through this formula that I have, and it's called Align. It's, awareness. And then it's, it's this whole process that I've taken all of you guys through, and everybody's like, oh, I don't really know what the hell Marine's doing. And then by the end of like day 5, it's like, oh, yeah. Oh, wow. I actually did something because I want to take you on a journey. I don't want to just be like, boom, 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 because you're not going to learn that way. So we're kind of going to be like having like this, like, it's not even like it's like kind of like a tag team, like kind of deal. It's like, hey, I'm going to pop in the Kara's group. I'm going to do my challenge there and then pop into mine. Both of them are going to be super simple and easy to play. So there's so many challenges. It's like, there's so much. You got to read the email, and then you got to do the hashtags, and then you got to freaking like make sure that you post on time. There's rules, and then you can't play, and then you can't win, and then people get confused. Like, there's so much. Like, we're having like the all fun challenge. Like,
yeah. Like, and I think both of ours too, Maureen, is very like centered on the energy and the shift, because it's almost like an information overload out there now, where it's like people are bombarding us with more information, more things that we feel we need to learn, but it's more about like processing what we already know and doing the shifting of those core beliefs, right? And that's like what we both do in different ways.
Yeah.
If we shift the energy, so it's easy, it's fun, and you'll experience it, right? You'll experience it. You won't walk away overwhelmed.
That's why I love collabing with you, because it's like so much fun. It's like 2 different modalities, 2 different personalities, but it like provides the same results to our people. And that fires us both up, and that's why we bounce off of each other so well. Like, it's just like, yeah, like I get so excited. Like, and I told you, none of this is planned, guys. We're just riffing. Alicia said that EFT has been a life changer for her. I'm sure that you've taught her some really cool things because she's comes and hangs out in my tribe and she's awesome. I'm excited to do EFT because honestly, like sometimes it's like my forget about it in my spiritual toolkit.
Yeah.
Like it's always like for me, it's like sometimes it's last resort. And it's like, oh yeah, I got to tap. Like when I had the migraine, like tapping wasn't the first thing I thought of. It was like oils and, hibernate and do all sorts of things and talk to my healers. And then it was like, oh yeah, that tapping thing, just like me, guys, like, I forget, like we want to put like all these different cool things in our spiritual toolbox, but even I forget at times, like to be like, oh man, because it's not part of my daily, like it is for you.
Yeah.
Like, I have other things that I do daily. Like I do like energy activation things, like I have a whole different like ball game of what my ritual. So I really enjoy taking time to reincorporate that into my spiritual practice, because when you reincorporate it, then you remember it again. So the next time that you need the tool, it's actually available instead of being in the back of your goddess tool. Like I always consider ourselves like super warriors, and like we get a tool belt, like it's like, hey, I'm gonna kick your ass, and it's like you got like some type of special potion. It's like, I need to have negative energy, boom. And then like you get to the back of your belt and you forget that like you have like the devil's claw, and you can be like, nope, not going to attack my energy. But sometimes we forget about it. I'm just being silly.
That's a good analogy. No, but it's true. And I think the more tools that we have, the more empowered we feel, because even though, life is fun, we go through a lot of good times, we also go through challenges, and that is a part of life too, right? The difficult times. And if we have tools to draw on during that time, we can get through it. Right? We can get through it. So we need the more tools, the more you're like, okay, I'm struggling, but I can do this. I know I can do this.
Yes, I love Lisa's comment. And then Elise, it's Alicia. I'm always so bad. I talk to so many international people. I'm so bad with names anymore. But she also said your energy feeds off of each other. So thank you, ladies. We truly appreciate it. Like, this is so much fun for us. Like I said, like I'm trying to keep us on task, but we have a really good synergy. So
there's so much we could discuss. Yeah.
I know, right? Like, like we're planning something, and we just haven't been given the whispers yet of what that looks like, of a joint collaboration in the future, maybe 2018. But in the meantime, how about we end cap with like, how about you share what's going on energetically in the cosmos moving forward, because we just got out of that powerful new moon in Gemini, and I know it rocks. So, and it wasn't just a new moon, it was a super moon. And then if I'm correct, if I got my moon in astrology going correctly, there's 3 super new moons in a row, right? Mm-hmm. And then they follow simultaneously on the back end, almost like, and I know I'm speaking like code alien to you guys, but like this, and then there's super full moons on the backside, like August, September, November, October-ish, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know, like maybe you could even explain that, but like this significant impact, because what I do know about like when these super moons come to us, it's like almost like, okay, we start and it's like powerful, and then the second one is like super powerful, and then the third one is just as powerful, but they're more intense than our typical moons, because they're super moons, because they come closer to us.
Yes,
right.
It appears closer, and it's like whatever you the thought is whatever you set for your intention during that time can then play out for 6 months, and in the super moon it becomes more intensified. So really getting that clarity on what I want to bring in, and yeah, the new super moon we had in Gemini was a really nice, light, fun, bubbly energy that I think we needed, because there was some heaviness going on. We had that full moon in Scorpio, which was very deep, very emotional for many people. So to move into the lightness of Gemini, I think was a relief. And we have Mars in Gemini right now. The sun is still in Gemini, and Gemini is a youthful energy that is fun and that is playful, that reminds us to share our ideas with the world, connected to the throat chakra. So having the courage to speak your truth, own your truth, share your opinions, but at the same time, like keep that curiosity alive, ask questions, get to know other people. So lots of Gemini, Gemini energy at this time, but an overall theme for the year is really Aries energy. It's a lot going on in the Aries sign this year, and that's all about taking action. We really have the opportunity to accelerate your results this year, and I think a lot of people are seeing that. Like, they're stepping out into the entrepreneurial world, and they're really like getting traction pretty quickly, or they're like building up their following if you allow yourself to go with that, right? It's not like this energy comes in and just takes over you. You have that freedom of choice to choose and say, I'm going to step into that path. I'm going to step into that energy, right? And say universe, but there is that opportunity to really accelerate your results. And then there's that Libra energy too, with Jupiter in the sign of Libra this year, right, where a lot of opportunities can come from relationships as well. So while there is this focus on the self, being strong in who I am, it's also look for those collaboration opportunities. And I think this overall knowing that we are stronger together and it's time to come together and stop competing. Because, when the energy we're further than that now. Like, we're beyond that. We know that we're all in this together, and that's supported astrologically this year too. It's an exciting year for sure. Lots of cool things going on. And yeah, in my community, Spiritual Goddesses, I do updates on astrology too on my personal page, talking about the new moon, full moon, and how to tap into that energy. So it's another tool that I love to draw on. Yeah.
And you guys always say, and like you said, it's a tool now. Like, you've experimented 8 years of trying, not even trying, but like, I feel like I'll never be a master energy expert. Like, I'll always be striving to be the best of the best. But, even when I'm 90 and freaking like Louise Hay still on stage and saying, this is the best decade of my life because I know how to use my energy, I'm still a student, and it's just an amazing thing. And that's why I just love all the different dynamics that you bring to the table. So if we're going to leave, we'll leave everybody with like one amazing tip. So what do you have to share with the goddesses and Soul Tribe about navigating the astrology times moving forward, / even like with EFT and or anything you got energy wise moving forward?
Sure.
I know he's totally putting you on spot. Like, it's sort of like, I don't even, like, it's a bad coaching question, guys. Don't ever do this. Like, that was open-ended. It had like 20 questions on top of questions, and it wasn't even clear. Like, it was not empowering whatsoever. But just if there was one remark to like leave everybody in closing with, because if we don't cut ourselves off, guys, we literally could probably talk for like hours. Yeah, so we're gonna be mindful, because I got some like great freaking food to eat. And I hear fireworks and parties all around my neighborhood, so it's about to be crazy. Right. And I don't know how
it's long weekend. See, I'm in Canada. We had our long weekend. I know it's Memorial Day.
Wait. You guys do it the weekend before, don't you?
Yeah, but it's like Victoria Day weekend. I know you guys are celebrating Memorial Day, so we had our long weekend last time. That's right. So it's a lot of celebrations for you. That's fun. I'm just gonna have a relaxing night.
What does weekend mean? Because like my other Canadian friends were like talking about a 3-day weekend. I'm like, why are you guys having a 3-day weekend before a 3-day weekend? Like, just because I don't.
Yeah. Well, and we have some of the same, in Canada, we have some of the same holidays, right, as the UK too, where we were under that ruling for so long, right? So like celebrating some of those, but we don't get Memorial Day. I think though, I mean, as an entrepreneur, we could take the time off, but still not the same holiday. Yeah. So I am going to have a relaxing night. But yeah, to answer your question, Marina, like the one takeaway I think is so important to really go within, honor yourself, listen to your body and what it needs, because that's a lot of what energy work is all about. Whether you're using EFT or a different modality, it's really tapping into the needs of your body, honoring that, and trusting yourself. So looking to others for guidance, but don't allow them to replace that inner knowing that you have within. So I think that's such an important takeaway. So I'll leave everyone with that. And thank you, Maureen, for having me on. Super fun to connect with you.
And my piggyback off of that, because it was so good, is that, your own device is free, and we're our own inner gurus by any means. Like, when you look at people like Kara and myself, not only but we've spent a lot of time on that personal discovery to be strong teachers for you guys now. And, you know, like I said, it's great to lean in because there's days where I have bad days too. And I'm like, yo, my DB chatter, like my chatter is going crazy. It's just a low energy. And like, you know, to lean in and support and, you know, just check in with your body and say, how do I feel? Like, and if the answer is, I feel flippin' awesome, then keep on doing that. And if the answer is like, man, I feel tired or I feel lethargic, think about what you ate. Think about who you were hanging out with. What were you doing? You know, because one of the biggest things when we come off of this 3-day weekend, whether, you know, you're in Canada, UK, wherever you are watching us from around the world, you know, 3-day weekends always promote like fun, hopefully. Sometimes it's family drama, which is even worse. So either way, you know, you're coming into a lot of anxiety and stress coming back to the quote unquote 9 to 5. And even if you take time off as an entrepreneur, like the biggest fear we have is like, oh my God, can I do this 12-day process? Is my business going to just sizzle up and die? Like after 6 years, it's just going to poof, like it's out of my control because I was gone for 12 days. But that's totally different than the fear that you have ghosting out and not doing anything in your business when you first start, you know, just funny things. So, you know, what's the best way that people can reach you, Kara? Like, you know, because some people aren't into groups and we get that, you know, it's not for everybody, but how can they really find you? Would you post a link when the replay or the recording finishes? Just saying like, you know, email you, whatever, just so like if they're looking for astrology or some type of guidance or insight, tapping, and just so you can really shine your gifts. Because I know so many people, especially because we have a lot of people on vacation as well this weekend, that, you know, they're going to be watching the replay and be like, oh, I need some of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll post in the community. I mean, my website is spiritualgoddesses.com. Email Kara at spiritualgoddesses.com. But yeah, absolutely. Feel free to reach out, connect through that way, and I can post in the community. Or yeah, Maureen can always hook us up if you have any questions. But yeah, feel free.
Yeah, anybody like totally like you need to like message Kara. Or, like, I mean, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, and I'm pretty hard when I judge myself, but I'll be non-hard at this moment. I think I have like a 5.75 when it comes to wisdom of astrology. And I'll compare that to wisdom of energy. I would say I'm an 8, you know, so it's not my zone of genius. I can have a conversation with it and I understand everything that you usually communicate with me, but I would never ever like, you know, and I think it's really important. It's really important, and EFT is really important. And like I said, I don't teach it often enough. I should more, but you know, I kind of like that you're teaching it. I like that you're teaching it because I just bounce over into the goddess tribe and I'm like, yo, I'm going to do some EFT tapping because sometimes you just really got to be the student, you know, like, you know, because like, you know, the guided meditations, but we'll go through that in my little challenge and you guys will learn some cool things. And, you know, maybe I'll have Kara like do like a special little live stream or just bring one of her days of the challenge that's in alignment with my challenge. And she'll show you guys what tapping really means. That would be kind of neat, right? See how we collaborate? We just like come up with ideas and we're like, yeah, this would be good. And then we just make it happen. So does anybody have any questions? I know Lisa has like, I don't even think we can see it all on the screen. Wow. She had a lot to say to us. I just want to make sure that we honor the questions. Earth and Science, like we're both like reading like intensely here.
Yeah, I'm reading. Awesome.
I'm like, I'm getting old.
I did this part a while ago. So.
Aww. That's great. Oh, so overall, like she's understanding her true, I would call it her North Node. Like, you know, she's really understanding her own internal compass now. Mm-hmm. And she said, Morning, Kara, my yin yangs, which I love because I can balance what I need in my life. At times, she needs Kara to keep her grounded, down to earth feeling, and other times she turns to me for fire and high energy.
I know, I love that balance. I think what it's got to be is I have my moon in Taurus, so I think that's the grounding.
Well, yeah. Well, when I saw your astrology chart, I was like, holy smokes, we literally are like yin yang. Like there's like everything that I have in my powerhouses are like you have it in the opposite powerhouses, and then we have like it just is like I was oh snap. And normally like you wouldn't think that you would get along with somebody like, you know, because it's so almost combative in a way, but the way that it all flows in the chart, it's just in harmony with it.
That's why you got to look at the whole chart for sure. There's so much to it. And I mean, with your moon in Pisces, right, and my sun in Cancer, that they're both like water signs. And Pisces and Gemini, right, they're the most adaptable signs in the zodiac that have a gift for being flexible and kind of connecting with a range of personality types. Like they know how to kind of mold to connect with that person. So you have a lot of that energy with Gemini and Pisces. I actually did a reading for someone the other day that had the same thing, sun in Gemini, moon in Pisces. Like, that is such a cool combination. Yeah, isn't that funny? Her rising was in Scorpio though, so different rising.
Oh, okay. So she got a little bit more sass than me. That shows. So guys, I just want to say thank you so much. Like, I know, like, you know, again, like the time, like, and I know we riffed for way longer than we had anticipated, but an hour is a good jam session. It was like a freaking webinar. But we honor, we respect you. Like, namaste. Thank you, Kara, for coming on. Like, I've had so much fun jamming with you. Like, it will definitely bring you on again. Like, you know, because I like had contemplated like, should we do like mini chart readings and you could just like tell like, you know, 2-minute like little scopes about people. But I was like, no, like they really need to get to like, you know, I want to like have everybody jam with us. Okay, so Myra's saying she definitely wants to do EFT tapping. Like, seriously, girlfriend, you know, join her, like, and put the link to your group too, sweetie. Please, but when you're doing your at the end things, because like I said, like sometimes I just want to learn EFT from you. It's just that's what I do. I just show up and I'm like, I'm going to tap today, you know, like, because
I'll put the link, especially to the chat, and then that'll link to the group as well, because it's free to join, and that's a beautiful, powerful introduction to tapping, like 5 days of tapping. Anyway, I know we got to finish up.
Yeah. I know. Well, we don't have to, but we're just going to be mindful of everybody. So, big giant sister hug to you. Like, it has been an honor and pleasure. I almost wore my pink scarf because I know you're like into the pinks. And I was like, you know, now that it's springtime, summer, I was like, she's probably not wearing a scarf today. I was like, we'd be like twinsies. So, guys, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Soul Tribe, I'm always there. You can always private message me. Kara's going to put her links up. Please connect to her. Please do the challenge. I'm going to be posting my stuff in the challenge if there's prompts. I don't know how she does her challenges, but if there's prompts and I got to post it in Soul Tribe, I'm going to hold myself accountable. I'm really looking for it because I don't think that you could ever do enough inner work to attract better, more aligned soulmate clients to you. And just the fact of getting over some stupid junk that you might not even think that you have, because we all got junk that hides in. That's why I like tapping. Mm-hmm. Like, you think you're cool and you go through 1 round and 2 rounds, and like next thing you know, you're like, I'm not where I want to be. What's really going on? Like, because I get really aggressive in my tapping, which some of you guys might not like because I go mean. Because I really go into that very dark DB, like the low vibration to bring it up high. Yeah. Yours is definitely like, oh, I'm going to keep you in a 3 to like a 5 vibration. So it's like, it's a really good, I mean, it's just amazing. Like I said, if this is where I go for EFT tapping, hopefully you guys come and join us too, because it's going to be awesome. We're going to attract more clients. We're going to get our soul self-care on this week. I mean, it's like freaking the week before my birthday. Come on, guys. Like, there's just all sorts of partying going on. And then you look at it like a challenge. It's like a party. It's like a fiesta. Like, I wish that we could like change the name of like challenges, because I don't think that what you and I do are challenges. We kind of like, we inform and we keep it fun. Like, it's a fiesta. Like, we're just educating, you know? Like, I don't really consider what. Well, I think Mom said, why can't you guys change it? Well, I'm going to change it, you know, or whatever. I'm going to have a fiesta challenge week the day before my birthday.
I love it.
You'll see something about me tomorrow. So, like, I'm going to create something and you're going to be like, all right, Maureen just did it. So, we love you guys. And please. Okay, there we go. Lisa, like, did a nice shout out there. Soul Tribe and spiritual goddesses healing the world. That's all you have to do is find that and we're good to go. So we love you. We love you. We love you. Thank you again. Sangria Soul Chats has been amazing. And I I just love you guys. So much love. So much love.
We'll see you all soon. Bye.
All right. Hey, for your challenge. Yes. So we will talk to everybody soon. Yay. Bye.